Am I a bad mother? Last night, I put my 3-year-old son to bed and then went to bed myself. My husband wanted to stay up a little longer and play video games. At about 10:30, I was woken up by small tugs on my blanket. My son was having nightmares. I picked him up and laid him down next to me. He cuddled up to me and went to sleep. My husband finally came to bed around 11 and was mad to find our son in our bed. He woke me up and told me I needed to put him back in his bed because I'm spoiling him by giving him so much attention. My son only sleeps with me 1 or 2 times a month, but he would more if his dad allowed it. My husband told me to stop coddling our son because he isn't a baby anymore. I still feel like he's my baby and I need to protect him. He gets scared at night and just wants his mama. My husband also gets mad and says I need to stop giving him so much attention so he'll pay attention to his dad more. Am I doing something wrong? I don't feel like I am. I just want the best for my baby. Edit. Thank you. I'm just trying to do the best I can for my little boy. I am almost entirely sure that he is autistic because I have autism and he seems to have similar symptoms. I could be wrong, but if I'm right, I imagine it already makes big emotions even harder for him to deal with. My son has always been more attached to me. His first words were mama. When he cries, he always wants me. His dad just says, "You're all right, get over it." I know why he wants me more, but my husband has led me to believe that his attachment to me isn't good. Reddit has made me fully realize how much of a jerk my husband has become since we had our son. I'm just trying to raise our little boy better than we were raised. He is still caught up on some bullshit from his youth. When I met him, he was sweet and caring. But since we had our baby, he lost all his charm. A user asks if she has discussed her son's potential neurodivergence with her husband. Response from Opie. Yes, we have talked about it, and we are going to discuss it with our pediatrician next time we see her. My husband is still very stubborn though. After reading these comments, I have decided to push for couples counseling as well as independent therapy for my husband. Update. After reading all your replies and suggestions, I pushed for counseling with my husband, but he refused. He said he survived his childhood and that a little rough parenting would do our son some good. I told him our son is 3 and doesn't need to suppress his feelings. We dropped it there. Yesterday, he pushed me over the edge. My son was playing with some wooden blocks in the living room. At one point, he got a bit too excited and threw one. It hit his dad. His dad started screaming and ran over to my son and slapped him across the face. I started yelling at my husband and told him he would never hit my son again. He told me he deserved it. I packed a bag, and my son and I are currently staying at my parents' house. I'm filing for a divorce. My son will not be beaten by his own father. My 3-year-old is oblivious to the whole situation. He's very happy to spend a couple of days with Grandpa and Grandma. He is especially excited that he gets to sleep in the big bed with Mom. But I can't help feeling like I'm wrong for this. Will this affect him mentally growing up? Am I being selfish by trying to take his father away? I love my son, but I don't want him to grow up getting hit anytime he messes up. Edit from Opie. After sitting and thinking for hours on end, I've come to the conclusion that I should have done this a long time ago. I want what's best for my son. I'm sorry you didn't have a dad growing up, but I'd rather be a single mom than be married to an abusive piece of work. My child just turned 3, 2 months ago. He definitely doesn't have an opinion. He doesn't understand the situation. Also, I already provide for my family. Getting rid of my husband would give me more money month to month. My husband works in fast food, no education. I am a school teacher, and I work at a small business most evenings. My son comes with me to work most days. My husband lives in MY house. I pay all MY bills. I buy all the food. I spend plenty of time with my son. I will always defend my son. I will never let a man who can barely take care of himself tell me how to raise my son. My baby will not be beaten because his dad is, but hurt over his own childhood. I'm sorry you don't understand the severity of the situation. Maybe one day you will. True intentions revealed. I'm not entirely sure if Dad wants to stay in the picture. He said if I divorced him, then I would be on my own and that he wanted nothing to do with my spoiled brat of a son. Update. My husband showed up at my parents' house and my dad made him leave. He keeps messaging me and I'm screenshotting everything he says. My mom and dad are helping me get through this. My husband keeps threatening me and I'm documenting all of it. My son still doesn't realize the situation and just wants to go home because he misses our cats. Since we've been at my parents' house, I've noticed slight changes in my son's attitude and behavior. He seems happier. He doesn't seem as afraid to play roughly with toys or to be a bit loud. He also stopped asking if he could get into bed with me and instead just climbs in and cuddles with me. I'm thrilled to see my son so happy and behaving like a toddler. Seeing how quickly he cheered up after not being around his dad for 4 days makes me wonder what his dad was doing when he had alone time with our son. I am very grateful for all the help and support and will keep you updated as time goes on. Update. A lot has happened. Yesterday, around 5 or 6 p.m., my husband decided he wanted his wife back, not his son, just his wife. So he showed up at my parents' house and started banging on the door. We told him to leave. He didn't. Eventually, he started fighting with my dad, saying that he just wants his wife back. The police were finally called, and my dad pressed charges against him for assault. But aside from that, my little one has started doing something absolutely adorable when we go to sleep. When he cuddles with me at night, he gives me a little kiss on the nose and tells me, "You're the best, Mom," and that he loves me more than Mr. Kitty, his stuffed animal that he takes everywhere. It makes me so happy to see him smile and laugh at everything. He's so cute. I love my son so much. If anything else happens, I'll post another update. Thank you, friends. Edit. For those who are asking, my dad ended up with a broken nose and a black eye. That's all. And yes, I reported it to the police the night it happened. My son is very happy and I love it. Update. I would like to change the title of these posts, but I feel it would be confusing. Anyway, I've been talking to a lawyer over the past week, and we're working on the divorce paperwork, as well as custody and possible restraining orders. I'm also trying to get my house back before my soon-to-be ex-husband does something to it. For those concerned, we have picked up the cats, and all 4 are comfortably at my parents' house. For those wanting an update on my son, he is doing very well. His grandmother bought him some little dinosaur toys yesterday, and he played with them until he physically couldn't anymore. He has also started trying to feed me. Also, if I call him my handsome boy, he tells me that I am his pretty mom. I love my son. I'm glad things are going well. Any future updates will be about my son until all the court stuff is done. Thank you, Reddit, for all your help. Update. Okay. Over the past week, I have been talking to a lawyer and gathering evidence. My soon-to-be ex-husband has still been trying to win me back. At one point, he even agreed to go to therapy. I know he won't go. And besides, you lose a lot of love and respect for someone after seeing them slap your child and punch your father. But anyway, aside from the legal stuff, here's an update on my son. Last Thursday, we went to the doctor, and my son seems to be physically fine. They found a couple of small bruises on his arms and legs, but they said it's probably from running and falling, kid stuff. On the other hand, his doctor believes he has autism. So, in a few weeks, he will be evaluated. My son is visibly happy. He loves all the attention he's getting from his grandma and grandpa. He has also claimed a blanket he found at their house and has decided it will be his forever. He has also started this habit of cuddling as close to me as possible in bed. I don't know if that's okay, but I'm going to assume it is. He hasn't asked about his dad. He's perfectly content with life. He's happy, I'm happy. Everything is good in the world so far. I hope it stays that way. Update. Well, I have officially started the divorce process. I asked my son if he missed his dad. He said no. That answer solidified this decision for me. My parents and my lawyer are encouraging me to apply for full custody of my son. I will do this, as well as apply for a restraining order since he has not only hit my child but also my father. My son has been nothing but happy recently. He has been eating well, sleeping well, and playing like toddlers do. Seeing him so happy gives me the motivation I need to keep going through this hardship. Since all this started, I haven't been eating or sleeping well, and I'm amazed at how much kids notice that. My son tries to feed me and lays down with me for naps. He's such a sweet, caring little boy, and I know he'll grow up to be a sweet, caring adult, especially with his father out of the picture. I can't express how grateful I am for all the love and emotional support I've had over these past weeks from all of you, other parents. Thank you so much. I will update more in the future. Update. Well, it's been at least a month since I left my husband. The court proceedings are going well. My husband has decided to fight for custody of our son, as I suspected he would. But aside from that, things are going well. My son is still happy. He is sick at the moment. The day after Halloween, he got pretty sick. His doctor said it's just the flu. He's vaccinated, so he should be okay. Despite getting sick, he had a very nice Halloween. He wanted to be a kangaroo. So I dressed him up as a Joey, and I was a big kangaroo. He loved it. He doesn't like chocolate much, so my mom bought a bunch of ring pops. So he still gets the sugar rush that comes with Halloween. Anyway, I will update more in the future. I enjoy writing about my son much more than about his sad excuse for a father. Thanks, guys. Update. My ex and I are officially divorced. He is tearing me apart every chance he gets. I am working myself to exhaustion while fighting him. I am losing motivation. I just want the best for my son. I want him to have what his dad didn't. His family is attacking me for calling him abusive. They've called me a bad mother and sent me death threats. I am a bad mother. I acted hastily knowing I have never done this alone. My son can barely play with me because I am constantly exhausted. I am trying my hardest to do anything and everything I can with him. He sleeps with me every night. He cuddles so close to me. And every night, I look at him and cry because I don't know what I'm doing. I can't handle this. I don't know what to do. My parents are a big help, but they can't make up for when I'm not there. My son will grow up thinking, "Where's my mom?" She is working trying to keep food on the table because she left his dad instead of fixing things. Update. After a rocky road, some breakdowns, and many bad memories, my son and I have finally moved back into our house. My parents blessed us with an early Christmas gift, a security system. Now we can't have ex-husbands lurking around our house. My son is happy, and after rereading my previous posts, I have realized that I am too. Everything is fine in my son's world, and that's all that matters. My parents also gifted my son a German Shepherd puppy since he has to leave his best friend Shelby, my parents' chocolate lab, behind. He has named her Calypso after the dog teacher from Bluey, and they are best friends. My parents and I paid a lot for my lawyer, but it helped that my ex tried to represent himself. My son is happy, and I couldn't ask for anything more. Thank you all for the love and support. It has been greatly appreciated.